Here we go. Likutei Halachot, Nefilas Apaim Halacha Dalet. So we said the first night of Pesach, we're at Sifyat base. The first night of Pesach, we said that you get this unbelievable ha'ora without Seder, without the Keser, and then ha'ora goes away, and you start getting it Keseder throughout the sphere, all the way until you get to Shavuos, where you reach the apex of the Keser, which is the very roots of Chometz the Kedusha. Therefore, you have to bring 2 chalas dafka Chometz for Shavuos. This Kabbalah Satara. Sifyat Gimel. That's the difference between Am Yisrael and the Goyim. You are the least of all the nations. What does it mean? That you make yourself smaller, you don't feel privileged, you feel less significant, when I'm giving you teva. HaKadosh Baruch Hu shines on Am Yisrael. The ha'ora is necessary to Likutei Baruch. He shines in them the ha'ora of His divine presence. Don't start, every dirtbag wants to know the secrets of Kabbalah. What they do is they strengthen themselves in Amunah, and they run after HaKadosh Baruch Hu immediately. Pull me after you, and let's run. Immediately when HaKadosh Baruch Hu starts pulling them to him, immediately they run to him. As Rashi says, I heard from your messengers that you want to pull me to you, and immediately I ran after you. Immediately when Am Yisrael starts running after HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes it as if he runs away from you and he hides himself from you. And he says, he says, I opened the door, I opened the gate, for my beloved. And my beloved, has snuck and passed. Now you have to start one step at a time, run after HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and to seek HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Dafka with deeds, and Masum Tovim with Simcha, until B'ezrat Hashem will be able to find him with tremendous esgalas. This constitutes the process that begins in Pesach and ends in Shavuos. Because it is dafka through the physical deeds done b'simcha, the anchor of the seichel. And then you gain what you gain. This is what you get, the attainment of the 9 faculties of the mind. That Am Yisrael preceded Nasa to Nishma. And supposedly, you can understand it at all. How can you do something before you hear? But the emissaries of the Torah praised Am Yisrael from the great craving to Kodesh Baruch Hu, and Meshicha to Kodesh Baruch Hu, and Cheshek to Kodesh Hashem Yisborach. They made the Nasa before the Nishma, as Chazal said, the greatness of this praise of Am Yisrael on this day. But still, it's still difficult to understand. How is it possible to do something before we hear it? But in Torah itself, it's it's very, very clear what they said. They said, Kol asher diber Hashem naseh v'nishma. In other words, what they said is anything that Hashem will say, they will do. So you find that really when they're doing it, they're doing it after Hashem tells them, after they hear what Hashem tells them. So, but the pasuk says, Kol asher diber Hashem naseh v'nishma. So if that's the case, so what's the big deal when it says that they said Nasa before Nishma? If Mimele, the Mashmos is they're only going to do it once Hashem says it, once they hear it. So what's the big Shevach, what's the big praise, that they said they're going to say what they do. But the matter is very clear. Because this is the Ma'al of Am Yisrael. In other words, they said they're not interested in any investigations. They don't want to prove. They don't want to verify anything. In the reasons for the mitzvahs, in the drachim of Hasogas Hashem Yisborach, and why does Hashem do it like this, and why does Hashem do it like that, and why did this happen, why did that happen? Kol asher daber Hashem, anything Hashem is going to say, na'aseh miyad techev bli shum she'ela b'chakirat rab. Immediately we're going to do without any question, and any investigation, any philosophizing, and any debate, and any punditing, and any color commentating. Just straight. And afterwards v'nishma. And then comes v'nishma, because nishma means is havonas alev, that's the understanding of the heart. As Rashi says, in a few places. In other words, Am Yisrael said that anything Hashem is going to say, they're going to do immediately. The way it comes out of Moshe's mouth, without questions, without any reasons. And afterwards, Aladei Zeh, Dafka, through this comes the Nishma. Because it is through the doing the mitzvahs be'emes, betmimis, b'simcha. And then the mitzvahs simply, tmimisdik, happy, you just go ahead and do it. Yezech afterwards to be masik, whatever it is that you're masik. Yezech to what? Yezech to establish the anchoring and settling power over the mind, which is the keser. That is the Mekor Simcha of Am Yisrael. This is the greatness of Am Yisrael. That really, that's the thing that enabled them to get 2 crowns. This, which are Simcha. When Am Yisrael said Nasa v'nishmo, angels came down and gave him 2 ksarim, and the head of each and every one. He said, Simchas olam al roshim. These asagas, these crowns, is the Nasa v'nishmo. This is the crowns of Simcha. He says, Simchas olam al roshim, and eternal rejoicing upon their heads. The v'zochet, the b'chino of the keser, the miyashav, and the ma'akiv.
Amen.
The truth of the matter is, you find this principle everywhere. It's applicable absolutely everywhere. When people, even in the outside world, they start to become communists or anarchists. Okay? How does it happen? They have their own theories, they have their own, but it doesn't start from theories. It doesn't start from theories. It starts from the fact that they're dissatisfied where they were. And there's a group of people, of young people. These young people are excited and exciting and cool, and you get to do cool things, and you hang out and you feel like really, really good about yourself, and so you do. You don't ask the questions. We are communists, or we are anarchists, or we're this, or we're that, whatever it is, and we're cool. And in other words, you're just swallowing the whole theory, pat and caboodle, the whole package, because you want to belong to this group of people, because they're so cool, And it's so much fun. And afterwards, you start seeing the world out of those eyes. Why is it justified that you should burn anything and bring everything down or whatever it is the theory is? It always starts with Nasav and Nishma. Even with money, who are the tycoons? Who are the people that make money? They go and they do. They jump. All right? First of all, it goes with the Nasa. They're the ones who are the doers. And then comes the Nishma. Then comes the Nishma, then comes the theory, then comes the this, and comes the that, and the accountants come, and the clerks come, and the economists come, whatever it is. But the trailblazers are always the people who do. It is always the doing is the thing that blazes the trail. Kal v'chomer im ruchnis. Aval ha'akam ha'pikosim, they come from Zumas HaNachash. They come from the filth of the serpent. From the Gam Etzadas Tovara. They are not Bnei Emunah. So before they do any kind of good deed, they're still deeply sunk in their taivas, the bad taivas. Immediately, they want to be masig with their verstupte seichel, which is, they want to know, and the lakus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Madonna wants to learn Kabbalah. She wants to know, Immediately, they want to first be Nishma, and then maybe Nasa, if we like it. Maybe,
Let's check it out.
We'll check it out. We'll see. Maybe it's always. First, they want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to tell his secrets and all his ways and all the reasons for the mitzvahs, and then perhaps, if it makes sense to them, then they'll do it. If they would see the light of the mitzvah in its root, how it shines throughout all the elements, and that's the reason there's a tachlis of all the pleasures in the world, above and below, from all. It's way, way, way above all the pleasures and all the successes possible in this world and the next. So who is going to be such a fool not to want that, to get such eternal goodness? Especially when you can purchase it for pennies. One godly can buy tzitzis for your talis. 20 shekels, whatever it is, you got tzitzis for your talis. And the entire world cannot accept, the light of the tzitzis. Because schar mitzvah b'hayal maleka. There's no schar. This world cannot contain the schar of a mitzvah. And the light of any single mitzvah is way, way, way above anything. Asher is the person who is zoche to do it with simcha, the way it is, the way it is proper. That Moshe Rabbeinu was mezakeas latzlocha mitis v'nitzchis kazot. Such unbelievable total success. Ashreinu, poshet Ashreinu, b'chol yom, every single day with tremendous simcha, adin ketz v'tachlis, to no end. We're zoche to believe in the simcha, Moshe Avdoi, his Torah, his highly mitzvahs, and to be happy with it with a mula levad. And through this, we will zoche afterwards to be each one to be zoche to whatever it is that you will be zoche. One day I was in Crown Heights. A guy gave me a lift to Borough Park, and he says, "Do you know Reb Leizer Berland?" I was like 20 years ago, more.
Was he ready then?
So, "Do you know Reb Leizer Berland?" I said, "Yeah, sure I do." So he says, "I'll tell you a story. What happened to me with him?" I says, "Okay." So he says, "We went together to Ukraine." He says, "I went with him to Ukraine." He says, "And we were there at the airport in Kiev. There are these two Chassidish Yidden over there, not presidents, just two Chassidish Yidden standing there, looking totally forlorn."
Meaning lost.
Yeah. So he came to them and he said, "What happened?" Apparently, somebody stole all the suitcases with their bags, with the passports, and all the money, everything. standing there in the airport in Ukraine, just with their clothes on the bodies, and that's it. So he said that the Blazer put his hand in his pocket and took everything he had in his pocket, like $600, whatever it is, everything, and just put it in their hands. And then he dragged them by the hand, and they got into a taxi, and they went. And he said somehow he doesn't know how, but they didn't need money for the taxi. He doesn't remember how things roll about. But they got to where they wanted to get. They didn't need any money. And he was marveled what kind of a meifus, was going on. I said, I don't know, what are you talking about a meifus? This is Pashat Likutei. For anybody, that gives all his money, every single penny to somebody else, so somebody else should have. So obviously, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to deal with him, beyond nature. It's the natural way. It's the natural way.